Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to talk about ethical communications with technology. I know the word ethical might be new to most of you and is a pretty big word for us in second grade, but we will break it down as we talk about it. So in second grade this year, we're going to be using technology a lot. We have iPads and some computers, and because we're going to be using it so much, we need to know how to use our devices safely, legally, and ethically, which means kind of right versus wrong. So first off, before we talk about how we can do this safely in our classroom, we need to learn some definitions. So ethical concepts, that is really big for us in second grade. And what that kind of means is understanding what is right or wrong or good and bad in a situation. Think about how you morally or how you just feel inside when you make a decision. If you feel bad, it's probably not a moral decision that is good to make. And if you feel good about it, then usually there's less problems that come up. Another thing that we need to talk about is fair use. And what fair use means in technology is making sure the resources we find on the internet and use are being used fairly. So someone else created these materials and it's okay to use them for a limited amount of time or for the right purposes, but we always need to make sure that we are giving credit to the person that created these, just like how you would want the credit when you make something. Public domain, this means that the material belongs to the public, and public means anyone. And so it's okay for anyone to use. So public domain resources are great for us to use in second grade. Creative Commons, that's a type of license, which means just permission that you've gotten that allows you to use something that you wouldn't normally be able to, but because you got that permission, it's okay. The creator wants you to use it and share it and add to their work. It's kind of like saying that let's say you made a sandcastle and you're okay with somebody else adding to your sandcastle to make it better, but you still want people to know that you were the one that started it. So what else does this kind of mean for us in second grade? Well, this means that we need to make sure that we never claim something on the internet as our creation. We need to give the author credit and make sure that people know that this came from them. We need to use materials from websites that offer free use of pictures, videos, and sound. So a lot of the things you find on the internet, they're not always, the author doesn't always want you to share them with people. They want them for themselves or they want the credit for them. So when we can find websites and different resources that give us free videos and sounds, those are the best things to use to make sure we don't get in trouble or feel bad about stealing someone else's work. When you have a question or when you're in doubt about what you can do on the internet or what you can use, just make sure you ask an adult and they will help you figure it out. And then last, if what you're doing doesn't feel right, if you're taking something from a website and it feels like maybe you're stealing it, it might not be an ethical decision. It might not be the best thing to use. So I put together some good resources and we'll be working with these more throughout the year and we'll break them down slower, but I just kind of wanted to start to familiarize you guys with them. So one of the good resources is Pixabay, which is over 780,000 photos and other resources. So that is way more photos and resources than all the people in our school or all the people in Inver Grove Heights. So that is a ton of resources. That's a great website to use. Also, Pix for Learning, that is safe and free for education and for students. So that's another great website to go to when you need a picture for a project or for anything else in our class. When you use sound effects, so just, different sound words like you see in the picture, wham, or even just like a doorbell noise, if we ever need to use those for a project in class, royalty-free music has a ton of different great resources that are for educational purposes for us to use at school. And also the website Sound Bible has copyright free. That just means it's okay for us to use them and the author is willing to share. Clip art and video. So clip art is another type of picture and also, videos like we watch. Discover Education has hundreds of them that are really great for education, and so does Early Childhood Education Zone. It has links to just several sites, and there's tons of different clip art. So those are websites that we'll be using a lot throughout the year. And then when we are looking for other videos, Teaching Channel has 1,000 videos on Common Core, which means what teachers know is the best things for us to teach you. And then also TeacherTube has lots of different videos that are safe and ethical for us to use in the classroom. So we kind of have, and I have a poster of this in the room, and it says Mrs. Bauslug's Classroom, 6 Commandments for Safe Computer Usage. So our computers are our iPads. And I took this from the Computer Ethics Institute. And so because they made up some of these commandments, I needed to give them credit by saying that that's where I got it from. And so that was me making an ethical decision. So I'll just read through these quickly, and then we'll break them down more throughout the year. Thou shalt not use a computer to harm other people. So we never want to use our devices to make fun of people or say bad things about them. We shall not interfere with other people's computer work. So if we are ever on a device and you're on somebody else's server or somebody else's project, make sure you sign off and respect that that is theirs. Thou shalt not snoop around in other people's computer files. So never digging, kind of like we talked about, in another person's project or anything that's theirs, just like you wouldn't dig in your neighbor's desk. Thou shalt not use a computer to steal. So what we've been talking about, never stealing pictures or videos or sound effects from the internet, but making sure we have permission or that the creator and author of it is okay with us using it. Thou shalt not use other people's computer resources without permission, so same kind of thing. And thou shalt always use a computer in ways that ensure consideration and respect for other human beings, and to make sure that we are using it to make ourselves smarter and to better the world too. So I want you to turn to a neighbor and tell them what you've learned about being ethical, legal, and safe in our classroom computers. One thing that you remember. All right, good. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take a quiz. I just kind of want to see, I know that was a lot to digest right away, and I just want to see kind of how much we remember so then we can break it down a little bit more. So what you are going to do is get out your Plickers cards, and there's 5 questions, and I'll read through them as we go. So the first question is, this is a type of license that allows you to use something you normally wouldn't be able to because you're sharing the resource or adding to it. Second one, fair use means making sure I am using technology fairly and for the purpose it was created for. Is that true or false? Materials coming from a public domain means that the materials, A, B, C, or D. Ethical concepts means understanding what, A or B. When I use materials on the internet, it doesn't matter where or from who I get them. I can use anything. Is that true or false? All right, nice job. I have a printout of all the different resources that we'll be using throughout the year, and it's hanging in the front of our room. So if you ever are looking for a picture or a video, we'll always kind of start there, and then there's other great resources we can use out there as well.